Hello everyone, welcome to today's class. Today we'll be looking at the labor market. The labor market is a place where we have the employer and the workers coming together to determine the wage rate and the condition of service. There are many players in the labor market. For example, we have the employers, the trade unions, the government, and people that are looking for jobs. The wage rate can either be determined by the government, the trade union, or the forces of demand and supply. Let's now look at who the labor force are. The labor force is the working population of a country. It comprises of the total number of people who are employed and also those who are unemployed but are willing and able to work. This involves people that are between the ages of 18 and 65 years. It does not include children below 18 years and retired workers who are out of service. The size of the labor force of a country is determined by the size of the population of that country, the number of disabled people in the country, the school leaving age, the retirement age, and the number of people who are willing to work. A country with a high population size and a few number of disabled people will have a larger labor force compared to a population of a country with a less population and many disabled people working or living in that country. The number of people willing to work can also affect the size of the labor force, because we know that there are some people that are actually of the working age but are not willing to or ready to work, so we can't classify them among the labor force, which can affect the size of the labor force. Let's now look at the efficiency of labor, which simply means the ability of a worker to have a maximum output without necessarily increasing the number of people that are engaging in that duty. The following are some of the factors that can help to improve the efficiency of labor or the efficiency of a worker in an organization. Number one, we have training and education. A worker that is well trained or well educated will have more to give, so he will be able to do his or her work efficiently, and which will lead to rather greater output compared to a worker that is untrained or uneducated. The level of technology can also affect or can also help in improving the efficiency of workers, because when there are a lot of technology or a lot of machines that can be used in carrying out certain duties, it will help in improving the efficiency of the workers. The provision of the welfare of the workers is also paramount in efficiency of the workforce, because when the welfare of workers are well taken care of, it will aid or rather encourage the worker to put in more effort in carrying out his or her assignment. High wages and salary is also another motivation that can help to improve the efficiency of workers. Moving on to the mobility of labor, which simply means the ease with which workers or the labor force move from one geographical region to another or from one occupation to another. There are two major types of mobility of labor, which is the occupational mobility of labor and the geographical mobility of labor. The occupational mobility of labor has to do with the movement of workers from one occupation to another. For example, when we have a teacher moving from the teaching job to probably a banking job, so we have a movement from one occupation to another, which is classified under the occupational mobility of labor. This occupational mobility of labor can be affected by certain factors, which are the wage rate, the cost and length of training, etc. The second type of mobility of labor is the geographical mobility of labor, which has to do with movement of workers from one place or from one geographical location to another. For example, movement from Lagos to Abuja or from Abuja to Port Harcourt and other moving from different locations in a country. This can be affected by the cost of transportation, accommodation problem that trying to get a place to stay, language barrier, cultural ties, and so on. now look at the demand for labor and supply of labor. Now let's take them one after the other. Let's look at the demand for labor first. The demand for labor has to do with the total number of workers that employers are willing and ready to employ at a particular time. While the supply of labor has to do with the total number of people of working age who are ready to work at a given wage rate. Let's now look at the factors affecting the demand for labor. Number one, the size of the market. The size of the market will affect the demand for labor. An organization that is small in size will have to employ less number of people compared to a very big organization which will have capacity of employing more workers. The second factor is the number of industries. When we have more industries in the economy, we will have a higher demand for labor because more people will be employed due to the greater number of industries available. Number three is the wage rate. When we know that as employers, they will prefer to employ at a less or lower wage rate than at a higher wage rate. So when we have a wage rate that is high, it might discourage workers from employment because they might not be able to pay that amount as salary or as wages. But when we have a wage rate that is low, it might end up affecting the demand for labor positively by increasing the demand for labor because then the employers will have enough money that they can pay their workers with. The fourth factor is the demand for goods and services. So we have a high demand for goods and services. It will lead to a higher demand for labor because more people will be employed to be able to provide such goods and services. The final factor we are going to look at under demand for labor is the efficiency of labor. A labor force that is efficient, that can put in its best to yield a higher level of output will be demanded for more. So workers will be looking for, employers will be looking for workers that can actually put in their best and yield more output than workers that are uneducated and therefore cannot be efficient in carrying out their duties. Going on to look at the factors affecting the supply of labor. We have number one, wages and salary. The wage rate or the salary of that a worker is going to take home at the end of the day will encourage him to work. So many people do not want to work because they feel the wage rate is too low or the salary is too low. The second factor that can affect the supply of labor is incentives and working conditions. When workers are sure that they will be given certain incentives or they will have a good working condition, they will be encouraged to work. So the supply of labor will be high. The population size can also affect the supply of labor. When we have a country with low population, it means the workforce will also be low. So we will not really have so many people that will be willing and ready to work. The fourth factor is the working hour. There are some organizations that extend their working hours to probably 12 hours in a day, which can be stressful on the workers. So it will affect some workers. It can also affect the supply of labor because it's not everyone that will be willing to work for long hours in a day. So this can affect the supply of labor. Finally, the age distribution and the sex distribution in the country can also affect the supply of labor. When we have a country that has so many females compared to male, it might affect the supply of labor because they might not be able to do the work that the male folks will be able to do. Then also the age distribution can also affect the supply of labor because when we have more of older people than younger people, it affects the labor force and affects the supply of labor. But when we have more of young people, that means we have more people that are willing and ready to work and are able to work. So that will also affect the supply of labor. The next slide looks at the wage rate. The wage rate simply means the rate at which workers are being paid for services rendered. This wage rate is divided into two. We have the time rate system and the piece rate system. If an organization decides to use the time rate system for wage rate, it simply means that the workers in that organization will be paid based on the number of hours that they've worked. But if another organization decides to use the piece rate system, this simply means that wages will be paid based on work done. That is the output, the final output of the workers. So the time rate system has to do with paying workers based on the number of hours they've worked, and the pay rate system has to do with paying workers based on their output or the total number of work done. Now remember that during the introduction of the topic, we said that there are many players in the labor market, and we said we have the trade union, the government, and workers and employers. Now we also said that there are various factors that can determine the wage rate. It's either the forces of demand and supply will determine the wage rate, or the government can decide the wage rate of people working in the country, or even the trade union can also help in determining the wage rate. Now, this next slide is going to look at how the various agents help in determining wage rate. Let's look at the wage rate determination by the forces of demand and supply. Wages can be determined through the interaction of both the employer and the employees, that is the workers. Now, when the supply of labor exceeds the demand for labor, we will have a fall in wage rate. But when the demand for labor exceeds the supply of labor, the wage rate will rise. On the other hand, when we have a meeting point, that's a point where we have equal demand for labor and equal supply of labor, then the wage rate will now be favorable to both the employer and the employee. That's both those employing workers and the workers that are actually being employed. The next slide looks at wage rate determination through the forces of demand and supply. On this graph, we can see that there's a meeting point, that's a point of intersection between the supply of labor and the demand for labor. Point WE is a wage rate that is favorable to both the employer and the employee, because at that point both the supply of labor and the demand for labor is equal. But the point above this equilibrium wage rate is where we have supply of labor being more than the demand for labor, because employers would not want to pay a wage rate that is above this equilibrium point, because that wage rate is too high for them, so they might not be willing to pay. So at this point, we are having the organization demanding for less labor, while individuals ready to work at wage rate WM. But any point below the equilibrium point, any point below WE, is a point where you have the demand for labor exceeding the supply of labor, because ordinarily employers will want to pay a lower wage rate than a higher wage rate. So when we have a wage rate fixed below the equilibrium point, we'll have more organizations willing to employ workers, but then the supply of labor will be less, because workers will not really want to work at such low wage rate. Finally, let's look at the trade union as another agent involved in the labor market. The trade union is simply an association of workers, a group of workers coming together to help each other, to help themselves in matters relating to their welfare and their condition of service. So simply put, a trade union is just an association of workers or a group of workers coming together for their own interest or to better their condition of work. Now, there are some objectives of trade union. That's what they hope to achieve as coming together when they come together as members of a trade union. The first one is to secure good wages for their members. They also would want to participate in policy formulation in their organization. So they want to be involved in whatever policy that their organization wants to come up with that will end up affecting them. Then they also want to safeguard the interests of their members and help members that might have lost their job they help them to secure better job or other employment opportunities. Thank you.